Hi, my name is Marcia Metzger, and I am the president of Parents on the Level. I'm here to share with you today a presentation to help the current Department of Education under Trump understand how the indoctrination is taking place in the American school system. Ending radical indoctrination in K-12 schooling, from my understanding in this order, you have 90 days in order to prove this to be true and to come up with the best strategy. I'm here to help. The Department of Education, like I just said, in order to get this done for 90 days, my belief is that social and emotional learning and DEI are pretty much equal partners in indoctrinating our students. And removing CASEL, which is pretty much the gold standard for social and emotional learning, where a lot of it comes from. They're the ones who have the alignments and measurements all defined for the schools. Removing this company and its influence, along with the operatives in the American School Counselor Association, is where to begin. Social emotional learning has its own definition. If you ask the teachers or anyone in these schools what the definition is, they'll all come up with different responses for you. It's a fluid definition. They'll probably change it again soon. This is something that is very troubling to me because I want to know on this definition, which you can read yourself or Google it for yourself. I want to know according to whose values and standards this is based on, because in America, we have freedom of religion and we are a pluralistic society, and no one's going to all come together and base all of their human experience and collective views on this definition. This is gross overreach by the schools. SEL programs and integrations are mostly digital, and these programs are customized and can introduce students individually to moral concepts, not just diverse concepts. These are moral concepts that parents would find deeply problematic. Interventions, many times administered by indoctrinated American School Counselor Association counselors, can bring most any child into alignment. So I wanted to show you something that I found completely interesting. I asked Grok and I asked Google to briefly summarize how social and emotional learning promotes DEI, just in order to get a little bit more clarity to bring to you today that you might would believe over me because you don't really know me. So briefly summarize how SEL promotes DEI. Let's look on the next page. I've got a little closer view of it. So it promotes diversity and equity and inclusion by fostering empathy and understanding. SEL teaches students to recognize and appreciate diverse perspectives, cultures, and identities, enhancing mutual respect and understanding. Again, when you hear the word diverse, think moral. Building inclusive environments. Through SEL, schools cultivate environments where every student feels valued and included, explicitly addressing and reducing biases and discrimination based on a moral code, pretty much. Developing social skills, key SEL competencies like communication, collaboration, and conflict resolution help students engage with diverse peers. Again, regarding morals, promoting equity in social interactions. So dismiss race as with the strength that it normally has and think sexual orientation and gender identity ideology throughout these things when I say moral. Folks, all of this, you can just continue reading these. It's constant, but at the very bottom it says this integration, which is what SEL does, it integrates with every subject digitally. It helps in creating a school culture where diversity is not just acknowledged, but celebrated. Equity is actively pursued, and inclusion is a daily practice. Inclusion is what I call the knee bender to anyone that has holy spiritual beliefs, understanding that there is a right and a wrong. These are moral issues. So here's Gemini for Google. Pretty much says the same thing. You can ask it for yourself even to verify these things. Here's Grok again. What does CASEL mean when they promote transformative SEL? Now we're at a higher level. You'll see it, pretty quickly. So their number one is equity and social justice. So you can go into all of this, every single one of these steps here. They're going to talk about power dynamics, inclusive schools, social identities, which most of the time means sexual identities. But now let's look here at the last two. I'm going to enlarge these last two on this next page. CASEL's approach, by using this transformative lens, is intended to not only improve individual outcomes in terms of academic achievement, mental health, and interpersonal skills, but also to cultivate a generation of learners, who are actively engaged in making their schools and societies more just and equitable. When CASEL promotes transformative SEL, they are advocating for educational practices that go beyond teaching children to manage emotions or build relationships. They're pushing for an education system that actively works towards social change through the empowerment of students. So let's go from the brown shirts to the red guard, and now we're going to have the global rainbow revolution. Can you imagine what happened with the brown shirts and the red guard on a global scale? Because CASEL is global, and this is what they're doing. This is what they're doing everywhere. And here is the main leader of the main nation where CASEL has originated. And do you see his little flag? You need to ask Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of Defense. Read his Battlefield of the Mind book, and you'll find all kind of captivating information about how this has come about. There's not enough time in this short video for you to understand these things for me. So that's a great resource from you, and you can also find more on my website. So anyway, here's Google, the same thing about the transformative social and emotional learning. You can read until your eyes burn out. Here is a graphic from Courage is a Habit. I love these people. They make great resources for all of us to use. The $1 billion lie, this is how much money Biden administration spent on CASEL and on other issues with DEI in the schools, and claiming that it would make suicide rates drop when they've increased by more than 8% annually. Yeah, that's not a good thing. $1 billion to continue to destroy our hearts and minds of our kids and young people. Here's Corey DeAngelis showing us a chart of how much the administrative state, which I call the deep state of every school district, showing how it has grown since the year 2000. SEL was introduced in 94, pretty much. So you can see how this has taken grip, how it's moved, and look at all of the new principals that are needed. Look at all of these administrators that are needed when we've taken this into a more digital approach. A lot of this comes straight out of the Obama administration. Linda Darling Hammond is someone you need to look up. She's the president of the California Board of Education. All of these people have had their hands in destroying so much in our school systems over the past 25 years. All of the deep state would be located in these areas that I have listed for you on the right. All of these mental health apparatus issues need to go. These are schools, not mental institutions. And the data analysts, all of that, they're sitting here just raking in data on our children, doing God only knows what with it. I can show you things that will make your head spin about it. We know that Title IX expansion officers, all of that, we know that that's being looked at heavily, thank God. And the DEI officers, that's one of the things that you're saying you're going to eradicate, thank God again. But these grants that are coming in from the federal government have been supplying a lot of this to the tune of billions of dollars. Here are a lot of the allegations I have for you to review. And you can certainly do a screenshot of this, and I can come and talk with you by phone. I can come testify, whatever it is that you need, and show you how all of this is happening. Everything from circumventing how you place sex education in curricula, all the way down to using copyright laws as a shield in order to keep parents and people like me from exposing what they're doing. Folks, we have a transparency issue with and it has to do with the hearts and minds of our children. This is absolutely ridiculous. Most publishers also of social and emotional learning program promote global citizenship that generally disparages America. So media literacy laws also are spreading across America to limit truthful resources for students to cite. So it's getting reiterated that we're global people, that America is no good, and all of the true sites that we would want our children to go to in order to give proper citations on work that involve truth are being replaced with propaganda. See our webinar called Newsella, and you'll understand a lot more about how media literacy is being weaponized against our students and against our country. And then the global reach is just absolutely something that we do not want. We are America first. So here are a lot of the measures for safety that should, we should eliminate a lot of these different things in order to, at least put them on pause to see if you can, so I can show you how these things are working. But all of this federal funding that's flooding the schools where they're using it for these programs, the counselors I've already talked with you about, data collection, the unsecured curricula is fluid and digital. Folks, they can change this curricula at any time. If I go find one to complain about and they find out that I've done it, they can change it and make me look like I don't know what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. It is fluid. CASEL aligned curricula, CASEL 5 competency measurements, culture and climate departments, and character education. Things like that have got to be closely monitored and watched because these are the footholds that they are getting on our children. These DEI officers, Title IX expansive rules. I know we've talked about that already. Teacher unions are absolutely ridiculous. They are a voice for the DNC, the American Library Association. You know all about that, I'm sure. But here's the deal about social and emotional learning that I really want to drill into for just a moment. This is their own document. I've put some red marks on it. We're talking, you need to read through this and understand these CASEL 5 competencies, they function a lot like, say, if you're sharing your faith with someone and you have a method, that's pretty much what this is. It's sharing the faith of this transformation in order to get these students to follow the collective, the socialist collective within the schools. And they do this and they measure these through assessments, DESA, and there's Panorama, there's several of them, the ACT, they're doing SEL as well and doing assessments on it. There's a lot going on with this that most people have no idea about. So moral concepts are being measured to see if these students are letting go of their morals, the what has been, and taking this for the what can be. Yeah, Kamala's little saying that wasn't too far off from this, folks. And here's the entire document finished out where they've explained these slides, teaching teachers how to sell SEL to people. But I'm going to show you this here, what this all comes together for in the competencies. It's, if you boil it down, it is a modern day struggle session using peer pressure to mold the student body. Again, using diverse morals, diverse, diverse, diverse. They keep hammering them. So this is one of the reasons why we have nervous kids, kids that are miserable and even suicidal. This is at the heart of SEL, DEI. I want you to look at their pledge. This is the pledge of the teachers and all of the IT people that are involved in it. And this is virtually what they want the students to pledge to. I just want you to look at that next to the last paragraph. I will use my power, my privilege, my time, my work, my influence, my lived experience, my love, my passion, my energy, and my resolve. My goodness, people, this absolutely is a doctrinal statement. Let's look at this real quick.
Columbia, when Jewish students were engaged in displaying the American flag and the Israeli flag, another student wearing a mask because these protesters are oh so brave, they almost always cover their face, held up a handwritten sign saying Al-Qassam's next target. Al-Qassam is the military arm of Hamas. According to social media, this particular student is a wealthy student from Georgia. She's not Palestinian, but she has been taught lies and hatred, and she feels perfectly comfortable advocating the murder of her fellow students at Columbia. At MIT, students have reported they feel unsafe to go to class.
Folks, I have other videos that do the same thing that shows the transformation of students. This one young lady here, for her to be from Georgia, the Bible Belt down in the South, and for her to be at Columbia and be that radical, Yeah, she's been lied to. He was exactly spot on. I'm so thankful for his discernment in this area. All right, so local administrators, educators, ed coaches, curriculum publishers, and counselors are all involved. And while not all participate, many are complicit and self censor with hopes for needed correction. Listen to the incriminating discussion by former leader and ethics chair of the American School Counselor Association, Carolyn B. Stone. This will floor you.
Our kids are being erased by laws such as Parents' Bill of Rights and the Stop Woke Act. There's actually a Stop Woke Act. You refuse to remain comfortable in your role as long as there's one student left out of the success equation. Yes, learn the rules so that you know how to break them.
You know, while you might think that that is taken out of context, I can assure you it is not. I have a whole channel worth of these kind of videos by Courage is Courage is a Habit that we can refer you to. This organization has done a fabulous job of educating people about how woke our schools have become. They are absolute warriors in this effort, and I applaud them. So you can find more incriminating videos right here under the American School Counselor Association. That way they get the credit for everything that they have done in this particular video. And there's no copyright issue there because this is absolutely there with their name on it. The American school system has its own acronym. And while you might be chuckling thinking about that right now, I really am not doing it to entertain anyone. It's the absolute truth. This is going to be the most stubborn thing to get under control because of all the local control laws and each district. Some of them are down for this stuff, some of them are not. This Trojan donkey is in every school system. It's there with all of its acronyms, all of these agencies, these alphabet agencies. And it would take me days to explain to you how each one of them functions within the school system. And these things need to be put on pause in a major way. And we need to consider how we're going to mold the hearts and minds of our children from this day forward, because we already see what kind of young adults we have right now ready to lead our country. Thank God they've got some people that are, showing them the truth, and that the youth vote has come up. They're understanding that what they had before, they do not want. So this is a start. CASEL and ASCA are the main players in this entire charade. We have got to get them out so we can get the remainder under control. CASEL talks to kids about being kind. They tell them their parents don't understand. There's all kinds of videos I have that makes kids doubt their parents. America was never good. BIPOC, non-BIPOC, Black, Indigenous people of color, just reducing us to being called such names, accused of being racist, ugly, all of these things. It's something that we have got to look at together as a society, and we have to stop. We have supporting documents and video lessons available to provide lawmakers and attorneys proof to support our assertions made in this presentation. Please help us, and let's eradicate woke operatives, fluid curriculum, and data collection. We need secured curriculum, and we need it now. Watch our webinars to learn more, parentsonthelevel.com/webinars. And we have resources there as well that you can review. Please contact me at parentsonthelevel@gmail.com if you'd like to ask any questions. And we would like to say a big thank you to Protect Ohio Children and Ohio Value Voters for helping share this presentation and for their production help in all of my webinars. Anyway, thank you very much, and I hope that this really does help, and we will see you soon.